Hi there. One of the things I enjoy doing that I really didn't realize is I like to look at life experience or thinking and see what the Bible has to say about it. Little known fact on a Google search engine, if you type in, what does the Bible say about fill in the blank, you'll get some great answers and lists of scripture passages about whatever topic you look up, compiled by people who apparently were nice enough to take the time to do that. Today, I was thinking about opinions. Specifically, I'm tired of expressing my own opinions. I kind of wanted to clear out my mind a little bit and go a little bit deeper. How important are opinions? I think with the coronavirus and so much happening, maybe we've had more opportunities to share our own opinions. I'm kind of tired of hearing myself talk to a degree. Here's a little scripture passage from the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 2. It says, "A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion." A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only expressing his opinion. I think our opinions are formed by what we value. What we value, I think, comes from a mixture of places. What we value could come from life experience, from learning, and hopefully informed by Jesus' words in the Bible, the Old Testament, St. Paul's letters, the New Testament. One of the things I enjoy doing is asking people how it's going and hearing what they have to say. Like last night was the first night of religious education. I asked the kids, how's school going? Is there any sports going on? I asked a couple parents, how is school going for your kids? Because I honestly don't know, and I really cared about hearing what they have to say. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 1 to 2, Jesus says, "Judge not that you may not be judged, for the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use will be measured out to you." So we've all heard that. And I think sometimes we can be definitely judgmental in our opinions. It's a great thing to stay away from gossip. I think opinions can just be fodder for gossip as well. In the letter of St. James, chapter 1, verses 19, he writes, "Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger." St. Paul in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 1, verse 27, "Only conduct yourselves in a way worthy of the gospel of Christ." When it says only conduct yourself in a way worthy of the gospel of Christ, he's referring to action. And that's what I'm most interested in, the best possible actions to take each day moving forward coping with the reality that we are in. I think part of it is by nature, I'm more of a doer. I do like prayer and contemplation, and it definitely hope it feeds into my actions, and my actions come from that source being God. But we did have a period of time coming up on 6 months, and even moving forward, for some more than others, a time of inaction. And there are still things we can do. We're a little bit more limited, but trying to determine the best actions moving forward. So I definitely like to ask and inquire, maybe ask what different ideas that I have, how to move forward, and see what other people think. I definitely value what people have to say, and it's really helped me out in ministry. In St. Paul's letter to the Galatians, chapter 1, verse 10, he writes, For I am now seeking the approval of man or God. Or am I trying to please man? If I were trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. St. Paul is talking in the negative about what unites us. What unites us is the love of God. What unites us is seeking God's will and asking God for that grace and help to be able to do His will the best way to move forward, the best way that we can love God and love our neighbor. So I think sometimes we can get into opinions in our own mind, get our opinions deeply in discussion with other people. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes I think it can be helpful in discussion and in our own minds to go deeper than opinions, to dig into our values, to do some soul searching and determine with God's help if we're doing God's will and we're living out the gospel at all times. It's a beautiful way to live. It's not an easy way to live, but as I mentioned in the video about doing God's will, thy will be done, that is the source of our happiness, the source of feeling fulfilled in our souls. So maybe we can go a little bit deeper. And I think in that when we go deeper, we're connecting with love, because deep down we want to love God. We want to love the people in our lives. And that's a great value. One last scripture passage. This is once again St. Paul in his letter to the Romans, chapter 14, verse 1. As for one who is weak in faith, welcome him, but do not quarrel over opinions. Go deeper with God's help.